Good morning.
Ooh, hello, my name's Lauren.
My name's Ian.
And this is Bars and Bells in the Dark.
You got it.
On a Saturday morning where we play with our strength, get warmed up, crawl around, and move our body weight to feel better.
You got it. You might have bedhead, and that's okay. We have our body weight. We don't need much else. Let's start by moving the head, neck, and the rib cage, and then we'll get to the floor and work on the hips and the splits. I like standing in a nice wide spot. From here at the head, neck, do your chin tuck in. Moderate shapes and small movements are the best. Let's start with a rotation looking over my right shoulder. Then rotate to center, and same thing other side. The hips and shoulders stay stationary, and the head moves. Let's repeat that same action, rotation through the rib cage or T-spine. Hips forward, head forward, rotation through the torso. Return through center. Repeat. The hips stay forward, rotation through the rib cage, and come back. Then let's do the same actions in the hips with the head and face and shoulders staying forward. Turn through those hips. One knee might bend, as I'm showing here on my left. Repeat that one more time, rotate, and then the other side. Let's return to that head neck. At the head neck this time, let's laterally flex. Ear towards shoulder, pull the head on straight and tall, and flex to the other side. The rib cage is staying stationary on the hips as you repeat that one more time each way. Laterally flexing, come back through center, lateral flexion the other way, and to tall. Now, same thing through the rib cage. Retract those shoulder blades and oscillate the rib cage on top of those hips. And center. Same idea the other side. And center. And for the additional challenge, could the head stay in the same position and the rib cage do the tip? That's kind of next level. We can work on that later. The hips, what do? Can they do somewhat of that same action? A little bit of this side to side. Maybe it's a hip hike action here. Last one. And then back. Let's return back up to that head neck. This time it's that flexion extension going forward. And I want to mix up my stance. Feel free to do the same. Low effort, look up to the ceiling. And then pull the chin low, the crown head high, flexing on the neck, chin towards that sternum. Then low effort, up. And then back down and reset, looking level on the horizon. Same effort through the rib cage with those shoulders in retraction, chin tuck and flex through that rib cage, bringing the sternum towards the belly button. Then lift up and over, keep the head neck down as Lauren's showing from the side there, and repeat one more time our flexion or forward bend and our extension to get tall. The hips are capable of doing those same things. Let's tuck under, squeezing your bum. It's probably already there. And then casually tip your tailbone back. Be careful that we're not cramping up that low back too much. But for one or two more, same thing. We'll do our posterior tuck underneath, then tipping towards the back. Repeat one more time with those hips underneath of us. And now we'll go to the floor where Lauren will get into our splits.
Excellent. Let's find our way down to the floor. Coming into our split position just lightly to start. So sitting, oh my goodness. Sitting up tall in our splits position here. Feet out nice and wide, tall posture. Now, as you're sitting here, think about where your hips are under you. Are they gently reaching back behind you in that slight anterior tilt, or are you rounded in that low back? If you're rounded, maybe prop up those hips onto something to lift them up off the floor. Now from here, let's keep our nice extended spine and just slowly walk ourselves a little bit forward. And if our feet are doing one thing, they're either in our pointed feet or in our flexed feet as we gently hinge forward. Maybe rock a little bit side to side, finding a little bit more room and being able to walk a little bit more forward. And then press yourself back up to tall. From here, let's do a light side bend over, and can we reach that off arm up and over our body? As you're reaching up and over, can you keep your shoulders set as to not shrug it up into your ear? You're trying to stay relatively square forward, feeling that length through that side body. Maybe you're taking a breath into it. And then pulling yourself back up to tall, and repeat the other way. Nice lateral flexion, reaching up and over. If that shoulder doesn't like that reach, feel free to keep the arm across the body. And breathe into that rib cage. And then back to center. Now from here, let's lightly hinge forward again, walking ourselves out, keeping that chest up, breathing. And then we'll press the floor away. And from here, we'll flip into our merperson. So we'll bring those legs in and bring them into a merperson sit, which is kind of like our 90-90. So our one knee is right in front of our hip, our shin is out parallel with the other leg, and again, we either have those pointed feet or the flexed feet. Now, our first time through, how does it feel sitting here? Can you sit up tall? Do you need that outrigger? How do those hips feel? And then from here, let's find the outside elbow towards the floor. With that elbow in line with hip and the top arm crossed across the body, take your back hip, gently squeeze it and extend it forward, squeezing your butt cheek, feeling again that length pull up the side of your body. Now from here, take your head and rotate it, looking at the elbow on the floor. And then rotate the shoulders closed. And then head will rotate up towards the ceiling. And then that upper body will follow. As you're open up towards the ceiling, make sure that back hip stays extended. Repeat again. Head rotates to look at elbow on the floor. And then shoulders rotate closed. One more time, head rotates open. And then shoulders follow. Feel that extension through that back hip and breathe. And then gently press the floor away. Try sitting up tall again, seeing how it feels after we've done just a couple of those hip openers. And then we'll switch and do the same thing on the other side. So find your other side merperson position. How does this side feel as you sit here? A little bit different for me. Need that arm a little bit more as I try to sit up tall. Again, we'll find that outside elbow towards the line with the hip. Take the top arm across the body. With that bottom shoulder packed and that back hip extended, head will rotate to elbow on the floor. And then shoulders will rotate closed. Head will rotate up towards the ceiling. Shoulders will rotate open. Bottom hip still extended, bottom shoulder packed. One last time. Looking at the elbow on the floor. Rotating the rib cage closed. Head rotates open. Shoulders rotate open. Back hip stays extended here. Take a breath. Get long through that side. And then gently press the floor away again. Sitting back up to tall. A little bit easier after that rotation. Same, different. From here, we'll come out of here and let's get our wrists warmed up.
So on all 6 points, that's toes, knees, and then hands. Start by taking the fingertips, 8 of them, so leave those thumbs up, and just press into the fingers, turning them white with that pressure. Maybe you find your index and then articulate from the index to